It's still connecting. Okay. It looks like we are live. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Arlene Dijamco, also known as the Multidimensional MD. I'm an integrative physician, a pediatrician, and a cranial osteopath. And my mission is to help wake up medicine and bring the intuitive spirit back to health in practical and tangible ways, because it was never meant to be separated in the first place. I'm here with my good friend, Maudy Fowler, for our show, Dr. Arlene and Maudy. Maudy is an award-winning international author, an inspirational speaker, and spiritual consultant. Her book, Heavenly Messages, co-authored with Gail Hunt, won the prestigious Best Inspirational International Book of 2008 in Europe over fellow nominees, Dr. Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra. And before we start our topic today, I did want to make an announcement that I'm doing a book giveaway for Angel Messages, which is where we got the messages I got from Maudy, the messages of the twos, because we are just out of our seed time between 2/2/22 and 2/22/22. And the significance of the twos is that your intentions, your thoughts, your prayers are being heard, and to stay the course, because this is your confirmation that you are on the path. So to keep going. And to help you with that, I wanted to give away one of Maudy's books. I love this book. I've had so many great things that people have said to me about it. So if you would like one, then I'm going to do a post later today on Instagram. Just go to our Instagram pages and like both of our pages. Mine is at All Worlds Health and Maudy's is at Maudy.Fowler. And put in the comments of my post 2 other people that you think that would like this book as well. And we'll have a random drawing a week from now. So that's March 2nd. And I'll make that announcement next week. So watch out for that. So today we're going to talk about messages of strength, comfort, and hope. And as I was saying, we are just coming out of that seed time of the twos. And you may be wondering, now what? Now what is next? I've been setting my intentions, saying prayers, but I'm feeling a lot of anticipation from people of what is around the corner, what is spring going to bring. And so there's some anxiety over that. And there's a lot of changes that are going to continue to be happening in the world, in our communities, and in our personal lives. So how do we actually address that? And how can we feel comfort in these times of constant change? And how can we dig deep and find our confidence and our strength and our hope to keep moving forward? So, Maudy, what's going on in your world?
Oh my gosh. And thank you, Dr. Arlene, for asking, and you all at home, good morning. And we're so happy to address this topic of message of the hope and comfort and strength, because what's going on in my world, actually too much. I don't know where to start when people ask me that. And here's the thing, with so much going on and so many people now getting a little bit of panic stricken with looking at with Europe and stuff. I received many phone calls, Dr. Arlene. I just shared it with you from Europe and from Belarus and from all those people that know me and that grabbed a hold of me. Now, here's the thing, okay? What I'm saying is I'm just going in prayer. I'm just letting people know heaven knows your life. Heaven knows your thoughts. Heaven knows your hardship. And yes, I'm a hardship reliever. I change people's luggage into backpack when you all are talking to me, meaning presenting people with the hope, with the strength, and with the comfort, and also let them look forward to what you said, what is in store for you. Next week is Lent time. Next week is Ash Wednesday. I give up what I love to do most, and that is all of you, navigating you. So for me, I take my 40 days and I actually retreat and go in prayer and come back with Easter, which is April 17th. So for that matter, what is going on in my world? All of you who connected with me during the time, the Zoom presentations and all what occurred, I take you all with me in my prayer, and heaven shows me, my own screen. So I know who to pray for, what to pray for, and what's going on. For me, I cannot pick up on people's voices. And so for all who connected with me, it is just, we just have to turn to faith. And you mentioned the book, Angel Messages. Well, all the messages are in here, and that's how your loved ones in heaven communicate with you. And Dr. Lee, you mentioned it too. All the numbers, if we all at home that are, 1111, 111, it's all in this book, and it's the life guiding signs. Even when your head turns to the clock and it says 1111 or 222, it is the message that has been received in heaven and message right back at you. And you actually maybe prayed for an answer, prayed for a solution. And Dr. Lee, you and me discussed that before. And, it's so cool to hear now from the people, what has been, what came to pass. And so for me, it is just for you all it's what your eye catches. When it's the numbers, the same numbers, or the sequence of numbers, or even when you look at the bird, a cardinal or a blue jay or a hummingbird, or something that your eye catches and you think, what is that? Or even a penny. When you go, you look on the floor and the ground and you pick up a penny and say, oh, what is this? And see, I'll take it further, and it's all in this book. And so hoping that Dr. Arlene will draw your name. So this is where you will find out what is your message. With picking up a penny, it's actually, to know that a penny is penny for your thoughts. So that means that heaven captured your mindset, your prayers, your everything that you send up to heaven. It was caught. And God gives approval to those who can help you, those who are in heaven. They do earthly work from heaven and help you do heavenly work here on earth. And you'll have your answers with your questions, and you're able to move forward. So I cannot make this answer short, Dr. Arlene. So what happens in my world? This is what I explain to people who call me from everywhere, just to give that hope and that strength and that comfort to move on. So how was it in your world with your patients? We always are so.
Yes, I know. So what I've been talking about is just is stepping into that flow of life instead of getting caught up by the ripples. So the ripples can feel like a snag, or it can feel like a flow. So I'll share something in my life too, that, well, a few months ago, this wasn't totally unexpected for me, but my hair started falling out. So this was, about a year, coming up to a year after my dad had passed. And so it had been a very stressful time. And what had happened was, this had happened to me after my pregnancies as well, is that about anywhere from like 9 months, year and a half afterwards, that my hair would start to fall out. But of course, usually when people come to me for that, it's very concerning. And then when it happens to me, when every time you brush your hair, there's clumps, or every time I ran my fingers through my hair, clumps were coming out. So definitely I felt that, what's going to happen here? But instead of stepping into the fear of that, I did have to talk to myself of like, what does this mean for me? Not that everything has to be overanalyzed, but I wanted to know, what significance was this for me? And so I sat with that. And for me, what came up was, that I needed to nourish myself, and I did need to have even more quiet time or rest time, to give myself space to just like tend to whatever layers of grief that might come up. And I let myself do that. So then the few months after that, I I really paid attention to what I was eating. I really paid attention to if I felt tired, that I would create space and time where I could take a nap, or I'd make sure to go to sleep earlier. And when I made my meals, I took a whole bunch of grains, like when you buy them from the grocery store. And every day I made sure that I had one whole bunch of grains. So I cooked it down so it was much smaller and I could take it in and divide it over the meals. I made sure I got some really nourishing, grounding root veggies like carrots and sweet potato that are packed with antioxidants. And so within months of doing that, less than a few months, then that calmed down, like moving through the stress of what I went through just with my family and with my dad. And so that was, when you have to live through it, the message is so much more powerful. And I just encourage everyone to do that anytime you are faced with these challenges, so what those could, again, they could be the ripples or the snags. It's like, how can you go through it more like surfing through it and find some sort of meaning in whatever you're going through, so that it has some sort of purpose, in a way that can help you, in the way that you can grow through it. Because otherwise you can feel really down about things when it's difficult for you and you feel like you're going through those snags. Then you can feel like you get stuck in it, and feel like you're spiraling downwards through it. So it takes a moment of just shifting, backing up and shifting your perspective. And I realize, going through it myself too, it's harder when it's you than when you're telling someone to do it. But that's okay. So I'll talk to myself as if I'm talking to a friend, as if I'm talking to one of my patients. I'll kind of back up and say, like, what would I say in this situation? How would I walk someone through this? Because that helps give you another perspective than always in yourself. Like, you have to look from the outside in. It's always going inwards, but when you look from the outside in, it gives you a different perspective. So maybe you can see that light there that wasn't obvious in the beginning. And I've been helping my patients like that too.
And that is so cool that you shared it, Dr. Arlene, because so many people go through. You all can identify yourself with what you just said, Dr. Arlene, at home. People can identify with situations and with what they're going through, and that's actually the situations of the loss of the loved ones, how to deal with that, how to move on, and it's exactly giving yourself space and time. And it can affect, of course, your physical well-being. And that's why, the stress and the frustration, and not necessarily frustration, but the stress, and how do you deal with that? How can you let go? So with so many things, it can affect your health, definitely, and that's quite obviously also because it is something that walks hand in hand with your mental well-being. Everything that is in your mind and you can't digest it and you can't handle it, it's actually showing in the health. It's showing in the way that we project it upon ourselves and other people. So yes, definitely, we have to see how to balance that. And you mentioned that with the grains and taking care of yourself. I think that is very good for you all at home, to make notes of that, and to see how you can handle that if you have that experience as well. For me, myself, how I handle situations like that, and it's been quite intense lately. So for me, myself, it's this is how I handle it. I can only help all of you if I first help me, and that's the oxygen. I refer and I let you all know, you have to put that oxygen mask on yourself first before you apply it to others. So, and I refer to that oxygen as parking myself. Whether you go in the car and park yourself somewhere, that is physically parking yourself. But also in here, mentally, you got to park yourself and give you that time and give you that space. And I do the same thing. So you and me, compare each other's thoughts process, and it's actually, on the same track and wavelength. So you all at home can actually see how you can handle that. So, and also when that all happens and there's more piling up of stress, you often hear me say, don't let others people's mess be your stress, right? So for me, I listen into that because we are here to help ourselves first and then others. So for me, I need to give myself time. Next week, I'm going to give myself 40 days of time because, I'm always hearing that phone is really growing out of my ear, people. But you know what? It is what it is. And it's getting more intense. So yes, I'm here for y'all, but I need to recharge myself. And that means, I'm going to park myself, but I'm taking everything in prayer. I let people turn to faith with the masses because also, and all of that, what we shared with, looking from the outside in and helping yourself with, how to balance your nutrition and you got to really find a way how to have those anti-inflammatory, am I saying it right, things, antioxidants,
Mhm.
I always, get the vitamin C and whatever I need to, the beet juice and the carrot juice, and the list goes on. So I replenish myself and make sure that I stay safe. Coming back to all of you who are facing so much from the outside in, from the things that is panic stricken, before I continue, for you all who reach me um, from the West, from Europe. I do have the book also in Polish, and I had many phone calls from Poland, so it is in Polish, okay? And it's called Anielski Christiania. I am so sorry if I did not pronounce it right, okay? But this one is Anielski Septi. And I think I pronounced that one right. So it's Angel Whispers and Angel Messages. So for you all who reached me from Poland, so please, try to obtain that book. And coming back to Dr. Lean, what you said, I think that is the best advice because you in your way, me in my way, letting you all know is I always keep you all in prayer, and prayers have been received in heaven, and that goes hand in hand with everything that we have to do to take care of ourselves. So faith, when you turn to faith, your fear will disappear. So for you all who are listening in, and in Holland, Belgium, and also in Belarus, and I pray for all of you, and Minsk, Russia, and Ukraine. I know many people. So, and Poland, I pray for all of you, and please just turn to faith, and therefore, again, your faith will be stronger and your fear will disappear. Okay, so thank you. And Dr. Aline, there's also so many people who are asking what you said with the nutrition,
Mhm.
and they experience. And I said, listen in on Wednesday because Dr. Aline has really good advice in how to replenish that nutrition. So
Mhm.
take it away. With the grains and all that stuff, So what else do you usually recommend the people that, I can recommend that we can now advise them?
Oh, some easy things. I'll take a splash of apple cider vinegar and put that in a little bit of warm water. Put some lemon in there, maybe half a lemon. Just if you're okay with citrus, and that just helps to. That's my dog. Balance the body and alkalinize the body, so to help reduce some inflammation. The apple cider vinegar does a couple things. It gives you a good source of probiotics, and it also helps to soften the bile so you can process fats and that sort of thing better. So that's a great thing. But what I mentioned, grab a bunch of greens and any kind, really. I rotate them for interest and to just get the variety. So Swiss chard, kale, collard, spinach, any bunch that you can find. preferably, organic if you can. If you can't, it's okay. And then, and get the colorful vegetables like the carrots, the sweet potato, the purple cabbage. And I'll tend to cook these down too, so that I can eat more of them. Some people will, it really kind of depends on the time of year, like how you might prepare it. So it's winter time, so I'll tend to eat like more cooked vegetables. And if you do have digestive problems, then it can be helpful to cook things too. And people, also ask me, since I see patients and see people one-on-one on a regular basis, how is that draining? That must be take so much of your energy. And as long as I take care of myself, it doesn't. It is like I'm in a constant state of meditation, like all day long with my patients, because it is easy for me to see the light in them. It's like that light that they cannot see, but that's my job, to be able to see it in them. And so I just need to draw that out, or help, remove the barriers from them seeing it, and walking them through so that they can see and access their light as well, because it is always there. It's that light of your soul. You cannot extinguish it. So no matter what you are going through, to have that comfort that that light is always there and is always being supported. So when you start to remember that, then it helps to give you that strength, comfort, hope. And it's thinking of ways to, what can I do to always step towards my light? Or it's not necessarily even like stepping toward that. What can I do to like access it more? It's already there. So how can I see it better? How can I feel it better? How can I listen to the light more? And any step that you take to do that, whether it's nourishing yourself through food, whether nourishing yourself through quiet time and rest, will help you through that. And as people grow and become more in tune with themselves, more in tune with their intuition, able to see the light more and more, they tend to need time to themselves. Even ones that are extrovert. It's not about always being introvert, extrovert. It's being able to nourish and tend to yourself. So regardless of what your personality is, as you start to just be more in tune, mind, body, spirit, then you tend to need that time, whether in prayer, in meditation, just quiet time and mindful movement, to really tend to you, so that you're constantly reminding yourself of your light and constantly getting to know yourself at a deeper level. Because what happens is that life happens and the human experience happens, and it distracts us from seeing our own light. And that's why you need that some kind of constant practice to be able to access it. And then when you need extra help, then you can come to me. If you need guidance and inspiration with Maudy too, so we can help you through that. But to have the comfort that that light is always there.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, for you all who can draw this help and assistance through our conversation, it takes you all to find the courage to do so and to make that happen for yourself, because then you can only move forward and you're not stuck. And when you do face your crossroads or your standstills, and it comes at you in unexpectedly, and ambush. Life can be a surprise or an ambush. And when it ambushes you, then take that moment. And, it's always, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Mm-hmm. And then when your emotions are in the way, then of course, people sometimes blurt it out and one gets louder and louder. And, it's that moment that you have to recognize the clarity of mind, to have that little piece to come forward. And that can only happen when you are at ease and calm inside. So yeah, when things are unexpectedly happen, or people unexpectedly are leaving, to cross over, it's very important for yourself to deal with your emotions and to see how you can handle that, and otherwise, get the help, like Dr. Arlene said. You have people to turn to. And so having that said, it's no need to look down and to break down. I always say, look up, and then that's where you need to build up. And when you deal with that, that loss, which I had a lot of people this week, it's very important to take that time to park yourself, to give you that, to give yourself that meditation in that moment to rekindle with yourself. So having that said, it is so very important to, again, take that moment to find your hope and to find your strength and the comfort. Surround yourself with good people, with people who are able there to listen to you. And if you're the person there to listen to these people, then don't make them your problem. Okay, because then you're sent to them to help and to listen and to just present them with choices, and that you're there for them. So having that said, yes, Lent time can be intense because it's Jesus suffering. So for that matter, there's so many things that will occur. So prayers, and faith again, and just know that you've been heard. And Dr. Arlene is here. You can always turn to Dr. Arlene and so many people around you again. And for me, I will be back after Easter. So I need to recharge myself. And people say, Maudy, every day, doesn't that drain you? For the messages that I deliver, listening in to your loved ones, because I'm clear hearing? No, because I'm, as Maudy 911, as a dispatcher, I'm just here to listen. So I don't have to think when I help you all. I really don't. So it doesn't drain me, and I will not allow it. Only when people get stubborn, then I often say, okay, next time is better time to talk, okay? So having that said, it's just a beautiful way for me to help you move forward and to let go and give you peace and inner peace, because that's so important to have eventually, that peace of mind. Mm-hmm. So having that said, Dr. Arlene, and also before I leave you all, since we're getting to our wrapping it up time, so don't forget, this is Angel Love from Above. And with having that said, you can always obtain that through my friend Gail, and just check out our website or our Maudy Fowler and Gail Hunt official page, Facebook. So check that out, and we'll be here. Dr. Arlene, I'm turning over to you.
Yes, and I realize, people they do get easily triggered, especially by your immediate family and your loved ones and the ones around you, and you cannot always just separate yourself from your immediate family or your kids that you need to take care of. So to have some grace for yourself and for them. And listen, you know what? Sometimes I'll lose it too. And my kids have so much grace with me, and they will hug me and let me have my quiet time, and then bring me flowers and do things to try to cheer me up again. It is so sweet. So like I want to remember that also, if little people can do this, so can we. So can the adults.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And, we take everything and put it in our backpack, whatever comes as positive to us. That is such a cool thing, that the children are so much loving you,
Right. So to be able to do that for them too, because then it's this back and forth, it's a relationship, and it's like, you don't do that just because they're doing that for you. Like, we are the grown-ups and the adults, so we get to choose how we respond to situations. And listen, if it doesn't work out one moment, you got the next, and then the next. So you just have constant moments to make a new decision. And we'll be talking about that more when Maudy and I get back together in the springtime. So that's going to be Wednesday, April 20th. For Spring Forward New Beginnings, talking about having a fresh start from moment to moment. And springtime is the perfect time for that as well. So I hope you can join us then. It's 11 a.m. EST. And I will be back next week for my regular podcast, and Maudy will be on her break for a little bit. So we'll catch up after then. So thank you everyone so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Arlene Dijamco with my friend Maudy Fowler. And again, You can follow us on Instagram at All Worlds Health for me and at Maudy.Fowler for Maudy. Lots of love to all of you, and we will see you next time.
Peaceful lands. Bye-bye. Blessings.